Back in my day, games were tough. Not like today. Heck, half the time back then you didn't know whether some random pixel was a good guy, a bad guy, a health pack, or whatever. Nowadays you have tutorial levels, checkpoints, save games, online walkthroughs. Are you kidding me? We dreamed of such things. Back in my day, you got 3 lives and that was that. And you thanked your damn stars if the game gave you a continue. Face it, games are just easier now.
Why?
In fact, there are a few reasons why this had to be the case. Reason number 1, limited resources. You see, early video game consoles had major hardware limitations. Game developers had to work within these constraints, resulting in simple graphics, audio, and gameplay. To make up for this, they'd just make their games really hard to increase the perceived game time. I remember more than a few games that were way too difficult for me on console. And it's only once I got to play them on emulators where I could save my game every 3 seconds that I realized how short some of these games were. The developers were literally out there like, damn, our game's only like 3 levels long. It's okay, just make it insanely difficult and no one will ever know. Which leads me perfectly to reason number 2, lack of save systems. Unlike modern games with frequent automatic saves or manual save options, early games lacked this. Players had to complete games in a single sitting. Screw you if you had to pause a game to go to school, only to come back and have the game frozen on you, or your dumbass had left the screen on too long, and now you'd burn the image of the game into your family TV forever. I'm sure Dad was real stoked about that one. Today's video is sponsored by sugar, because it's the 90s and parents won't find out it's bad for you for at least another decade, at which point you'll be hopelessly addicted to it. But until then, dig in! Reason number 3, arcade influence. In the early days of video games, arcades were a popular place for gaming, as well as smoking without your parents knowing and getting to second base. Arcade games were designed to be challenging, to encourage players to insert more coins to continue playing. This design philosophy carried over to home consoles and computers, leading to a higher level of difficulty in many games. The goal was to keep players engaged and coming back for more. Basically, get good or get poor. Reason number 4, trial and error. Game tutorials and instructions were often minimal or absent in the past. Only later did games start including user manuals, and this was long before being able to go online if you were stuck on a level. You were just stuck, and you had to learn to deal with it. Players had to figure out the gameplay mechanics, controls, and objectives through trial and error. I know we take this stuff for granted now, but take something as simple as the original Super Mario Bros. The game starts with 1-player game or 2-player game. That's it. You don't know where you are, what you're meant to be doing. It doesn't even tell you what direction to go. Okay, so this mushroom with the evil eyebrows, he's a bad guy, okay. And this other mushroom that popped out of the question mark box, yeah, that makes me grow. Okay, cool. And I'm what? A plumber? Okay. Reason number 5, lousy controls. Not only did older games sometimes feature complex gameplay mechanics and require precise timing or intricate strategies, pixel-perfect jumps, precise aim, and reflexes, but you had to do it with a controller that was basically a brick with buttons. 4 direction buttons? I'm seeing folks beating games with everything from a Wacom drawing pad to a Guitar Hero controller, but I dare anyone to beat a Souls game with a damn Atari 2600 controller. Okay, so I guess we've established that games were harder back in the olden days. So can we show us ancient gamers a little respect, please? Damn Gen Zs. The thing is, gaming had to get easier. It was inevitable.
Why?
The main reason is the expanding audience. Video games evolved from a niche hobby to mainstream entertainment. Game developers now target a broad audience, including casual gamers, families, and even non-gamers, because money. To cater to this wider demographic, games have become more inclusive with simpler gameplay mechanics and lower difficulty curves, because money. This accessibility has helped to attract new players to the medium, and of course their tasty money. Game developers and publishers want their games to appeal to a broad audience and maximize sales, because, you guessed it, money. They make sure their onboarding is better with improved tutorials and mechanics that are better designed, better explained, more accessible and inclusive, making games more customizable. If you want to make jump a different button and it'll make you play our game longer, then why the hell not? Just give me that sweet money. This player-first design philosophy has resulted in numerous quality-of-life improvements with things like autosaves, checkpoints, fast travel. This increase in the audience and money brought in more advancements in technology, meaning better controls and hardware, and so the limitations of the past are lessened. More money, more improvements, more players, more money, money. Finally, there is also just a damn ton of information now on the internet about pretty much any game you could ever think of. If you're looking for walkthroughs or cheat codes or mods or hacks, you just go online and you'll find it. So the decrease in difficulty can all really be boiled down to one major reason: more players. Which meant more games for more people, and for those games to be as accessible as possible to as many people as possible. Gaming used to be small enough that gamers back then could honestly play every game that was released, and in doing so, I'll admit, there was a sense of entitlement, like this is ours. And whenever something becomes popular, you'll have grumpy old curmudgeons like me who can't hope to still play everything that is released, but never lose that sense of ownership and self-entitlement. It really is a skill. Believing that these idiot developers are screwing it up by making it too easy. Well, I guess the honest truth is, not every game is for everyone. This is why there are still some games that are very difficult and have become incredibly popular, and why many of these games are being celebrated for bucking the trend of making games too easy. But they definitely still take advantage of some of these easier quality of life improvements. So if you think games like Cuphead or Souls games are hard, just imagine that stuff with no saves, 3 lives, no continues, and a 2-button controller. Screw that. So if more people playing games means there's more money in the industry for more diverse gaming experiences and huge advancements in technology, well, then I'm all for it. But get off my lawn!
Thanks again to the sponsor of today's video, Sugar. Delicious. Stay tuned for our next episode, all about the ancient philosophy of one of Mario Kart's most hated items. Just click here. I need to lie down. Honey, do we have any insulin?